Namaste students, myself JVN VS Kumar Yadav, Faculty of Education and Methodology, Jyoti Vidyapit Women's University Jaipur. I welcome to all of you in my video lecture. In continuation of previous lecture, as we have seen that we were studying the characteristic features of Pteridophyta. Okay, so far up to their morphology we have completed. Today we are going to see some of the characteristic features related to reproduction of pteridophytes. Okay, so let's start. Pteridophytes reproduce by spores. Spores are produced in sporangia, and sporangia are born on the ventral side of the leaf, and those leaves are known as sporophylls. So sporophylls are those leaves which have sporangia, and inside sporangia spores are produced. Okay, Ophioglossum has some unique feature. Fertile spike bearing sporangia arise from the exiles of leaf. Unlike to others where sporangia developed on the ventral side, here sporangia are developed into exiles of the leaf. Okay. Next, in some aquatic forms of pteridophytes such as Salvinia and Marsilia, sporangia are present within the specialized structure, and those specialized structure are called as sporocarp. As you can see in the images, sporocarps in pteridophytes in Marsilia and Salvinia. Next is the pteridophytes can be classified into two different categories. One is homosporous, example are Lycopodium and Pteris. Second is heterosporous, example is Selaginella. Now what are these two? We are going to explain. So homosporous are those pteridophytes which have single type of spores and sporangia, and their spores are small, whereas heterosporous have two different types of spores and sporangia. One spore will be small and other will be large, and the large sporangia are known as megaspore, which encapsulated in megasporangium, whereas small sporangia, which are microsporangia, produce male microspores. Okay, so these are the two different types of plant group on the basis of sporangia. Then two types of sporangia based on the development. Okay, so on the basis of development, this is different criteria of plants. These are eusporangiate and leptosporangiate. Okay, so what are these two? When sporangia develop from a group of initial cells, those conditions are known as eusporangiate. Example of eusporangiate is Psilotum, whereas in leptosporangiate, sporangia develop from a single initial cell. Example is leptosporangius, that is true fern. Okay, next we are moving sporophylls. Okay, so sporophylls may be either aggregated into compact cone, that is known as strobili, at the end of the stem. Example of this condition are Selaginella, Lycopodium, Equisetum, and other condition is uniformly distributed. The example are Pteris and Ediatum. In the bottoms of the slide we have shown that Equisetum, Selaginella, Osmunda, these are different types of cones and strobilus of pteridophytes. Now in true ferns, sporangia located on the lower surface of leaf in cluster, they are called as sori. In singular it is called as sorus. So these are some of the different pteridophytes where their leaves show the location of sori. Okay, these are different. Now something about sexual reproductive parts of the pteridophytes. So some of the unique feature are like spore wall is thick and differentiated into outer exine and inner actine, as you have already seen in the structure of pollen grain. These spores germinate to form gametophytic generation. Okay, this is the very important point to be remembered, that spores are the first cell of gametophytic stage. Okay, so this spores, as soon as spores will formed, now their phase has been changed. Now they has been converted from diploid to haploid, that is gametophytic generation. Then homosporous species are ixosporic, means gametophytic develops outside of the spore wall, whereas heterosporous species are endosporic, where gametophyte develops within the spore wall. Now gametophyte and sporophytes are two separate and independent plants. We have already discussed in previous lecture that sporophyte are independent. They are not dependent on the gametophyte for nutrition. So there is no physical connection between two generations. Next, much variation in gametophyte among different species has been found. The main gametophyte is called as prothallus. This is one of the most important fact related to pteridophytes. You need to remember that prothallus is there, which is the gametophytic phase. Okay, as you can see in the diagram, where prothallus showing with the young sporophyte plant. In homosporous type, prothallus is simple, green and heart shaped, whereas in other cases they may be homosporous species are monoecious, means Enthredia and Archegonia are born on the same prothallus. Next is heterosporous type are always dioecious. Microspore give rise to male prothallus, whereas macrospore give rise to female prothallus, means both of them are separated. Sex organs are embedded or projected in prothallus. Entheridium is surrounded by jacket cell. You have already seen in bryophytes. Jacket is always single layered. Entheridia are sessile and shortly stalked. They have very small stalk. Anthrozoids unicellular, spirally coiled with two apical flagella. This is the one of the most important facts you need to remember, that which kind of sporozoites are there. You have found that you have found in bryophytes they are multi cellular flagellate or biflagellate, but here they are unicellular, spirally coiled with only two apical flagella. Okay, next is Archegonia is differentiated into neck and venter as usual in bryophytes. Neck is projected and venter is embedded in the prothallus. Neck canal cell degrade to produce mucilaginous substance. Mucilage attract anthrozoids towards the Archegonia. This is also one of the important that water is most essential component for fertilization. Okay, egg and anthrozoids fuse to form zygote. Zygote is the first cell of sporophyte. Next, zygote is divided to form embryo. The first division of zygote determines the polarity of embryo. The basal part of zygote form the foot and roots, whereas apical pole give rise to shoot apex. In pteridophytes shows typical heteromorphic alternation of generation. Morphologically distinct sporophytic and gametophytic generation we have already seen. Main plant body is sporophytic, that is dominant phase. Separate and independent gametophytic and sporophytic generation. So these are something about characteristic features of pteridophytes. So in this way we have completed general character of pteridophytes. In next class we'll see some of the classification and examples of, and after that we'll take each and every genera in where we have studied in detail all those parameters. Okay, thank you very much.